morning, guys. Today I wanted to have a quick chat with you about the Iflight Cinibee, which I'm sure you can see over here. Now, this little quad is pretty much Iflight's answer to the whole Cinewhoop side of things. And you know what? It's not too bad. But I'm also not blown away by it. I think it's probably best if I run through the goods and the bads so you can kind of see where I'm at. Now, in terms of overall build quality, this thing is fantastic. It really is. You know, it's almost a little bit of a work of art. I love the way the SD card holder on the bottom here clips in and it's all part of the chassis and nice and secure. The ducts seem, at this point from my initial flying and bumping around, to be quite tough. They're strong. They kind of do everything they meant to. It's decent. But, you know, I guess maybe the issue is I've spent a lot of time flying something like the BETA85X HD. And I'm not sure it's really a perfectly clear comparison. You know, I don't like comparing a one for a one because actually things are designed for a different purpose. But I think the 85X really suits my flying style more. The Iflight Cinibee, on the other hand, flies okay. It's, you know, it's certainly much more 2S geared than 3S. You know, the BETA85 is totally, you know, you plug on the BETA85, you're going to plug one of these sort of 3S batteries on it, whereas the Cinewhoop, you know, a little 2S battery, and that kind of, I guess what's telling on that is when you take the quad and you pop the battery on, you can see how nice and snug that fits on top. Well, the same can't be said for a 3S, because if I get my 3S and I pop it on, out the box, cracky, the Velcro doesn't really even manage to get on and hold. It just does. But I guess the thing is that what this does is it tells you that they've really geared this quad to being a 2S whoop, which in my mind makes it much more of a little indoor flyer and maybe around people. And then I guess I've got to say, well, now you've got some hard carbon points and things like that, so some of the benefit actually just kind of goes away. Yeah, but it's nice. In terms of issues, I can't say I've had major issues. The only one curious thing about it, and it's kind of difficult to show you in the footage. I do have some footage of what happens, but on the 2S, I'll take off, I'll fly around the garden. You know, my PIDs need a bit of tuning. At the moment, it feels, I guess the work might be robotic, whereas the BETA85X, I feel like I'm flying a little bit on rails, and it's smooth and suits my freestyle style flight. But this one feels a little bit more jerky. End of the day, I need more time to get this tuned to my liking. Out the box, it's not quite how I like a quad. But the strange thing happened when I plugged one of these on top. Now, I have to say, under 3S, my flying of this quad has been very short-lived. Essentially, your arm, it's fine, and as you touch power, you get such wild oscillations on going up that essentially what happens is the quad became completely unflyable. I don't know if you guys have ever had the situation where with things like air mode and such enabled, the quad's trying so hard just to stabilize, it actually seems to completely ignore any input, and the only option is to disarm, because you put in 10% throttle and the thing, gone, you know, and you cut this power and it's still trying to balance itself and get itself going from the oscillations, and it just ignores the fact that you've killed the throttle. Which I guess is probably because the motors are such high kV motors that under 3S it's actually just a bit too much power. I think it would be interesting to me to see what this would perform like if I swapped it to something like the BETA85 motors, slightly lower kV. I don't actually know what the difference is between them. I should actually do that as an experiment. But yeah, I think that with a lower kV motor, 3S might be more desirable. And I guess maybe that's why Iflight have not yet released the 3S, 4S version that's been promised. They just want to get things perfect, which is great. Now, I think I'll pop up a little bit of footage from yesterday, which I took with the Cinebee. It's, you know what, it's footage. It's decent. There's nothing wrong with it, but I'm sure you'll see from my flying on it, you'll see how much more jerky I am and how erratic my flying is compared to some of my other videos I've done where I've been on the BETA85. So it is what it is. I need to tune it. It's no fault of the quad, but out the box it's not quite how I like it. But I do like the build quality, and I think that this thing really is a masterpiece in how they've put it together. It's something to be said for that. It's pretty cool. So there you go, guys, my initial thoughts on the Cinebee. Will I fly it more? Yes, totally. You know, I think if I spend a little bit more time, I'll actually get things right. Which one will I fly more? I suspect because of my own personal flying style, I'll probably fly the BETA85 more. And reserve this one maybe for little indoor type functions under 2S. Anyway, that's how it goes. Cheers, guys.